as the holiday season kicks into high gear, unfortunately, scammers aren't taking any time off. They're actually cashing in on goodwill. Joining us is Jeff Lungelhofer, Chief Information Security Officer at Coinbase, to share the top red flags to watch out for and how communities can protect themselves this holiday season. Good morning, Jeff. How are you?
Hi, Maddie. It's great to be here.
Awesome. Okay, so why is it important to be aware of online scams, especially this time of year?
Well, look, the holidays are all about sharing, caring, giving, spending time with friends and family. And unfortunately, in some cases, it can be a little lonely for people. And folks tend to let their guard down during the holidays. And the reality is that scammers know that, and they will take advantage of that to try and steal your hard-earned money.
Okay, Jeff, what would you say is the biggest message the public, needs to know about these scammers and, their intentions?
Awareness. I want everyone to be aware of scams. 60% of Americans will be targeted by a scammer this year. And here's an amazing statistic, Maddie. 1 in 5 people that are victimized by scammers that actually send money and lose money will not report that they've been a victim. That is a shocking statistic. And that's one of the reasons why Coinbase is a founding member of the Tech Against Scams Coalition. We as a society need to start a national conversation about scams and break the stigma.
Okay, so I will get, random text messages saying, click this link or, an email. So what are some of the examples and red flags that you can share to keep an eye out for?
Well, a couple of things. One, like you just said, Maddie, a random outreach from somebody that you don't know, ignore it, right? If it sounds too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true, right? If you're on a dating app, as an example, and suddenly that person is immediately trying to take you off that platform onto, say, a Telegram or a WhatsApp, that's a big red flag. And the biggest red flag of all is if they ask you for money in any capacity. What I tell folks all the time is do not send somebody money that you can't afford to lose, because unfortunately, if you're dealing with someone who's online, you're probably getting scammed. Just don't do it.
Oh, I didn't even think about the dating apps, how that's become a new avenue for scammers to, hit people up on. It's scary. So then let's talk about protection. How can people, help protect themselves from these scammers?
Well, first and foremost, educate yourself. Use trusted financial platforms like Coinbase.com. And if someone calls you on the phone, texts you, emails you, and they are pretending or saying that they're from a financial provider, and they're asking you to manipulate funds, they're asking you questions, hang up the phone. Then I want you to go directly to the website of that company, and I want you to get the phone number right from the website. I want you to start a chat directly from the website. That gives you a good indication that you're communicating with a legitimate representative of that company and not a scammer.
All right, Jeff, and any other helpful suggestions that you can share with me and our viewers today?
Well, look, talk about scams. I want everybody talking about scams around every dinner table in America. I want people talking to their parents, talking to their kids, talking to their neighbors. And that's one of the reasons why Coinbase this year is sponsoring what we're calling our Scamberry Pie campaign. At select locations from coast to coast, we're offering free pies to folks, because what gets a good conversation started around a table other than a good slice of pie? So that's one thing we're doing this year to start that national conversation.
And maybe for parents, that might be a little nervous about what their kids are searching online. Any tips for parents on how to go about maybe opening that conversation if they don't have that helpful pie?
Yeah, talk to your kids. I really encourage every parent to talk to your kids, particularly younger kids. And I said 60% of Americans will be targeted. That includes your children, as young as 5, 6 years old. So if they're online, talk to them, understand who they're communicating with, what they're talking about. That's something that's critical to keeping all our kids safe.
All right, Jeff, thank you so much for your time. Real quick, can you let our viewers know where they can go for more information?
Sure, head over to techagainstscams.io or help.coinbase.com for more information.
Awesome. Jeff, happy holidays. Thank you so much for all the helpful information.
Thanks for having me today.
Of course.